Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2025 and review them. And now we are on to Meglos, the second episode of Tom Baker's final season. And boy, oh boy, is it ever a step up from the previous episode. I've mentioned this in my previous review. I was not the biggest fan of the Leisure Hive, but Meglos, not the case. I really, really like this episode. I like this episode a lot. First of all, it keeps the huge upgrade to the production budget from the previous one that we're going to be seeing all throughout this season. But I mean, it bears mentioning the production design and the production budget has seriously stepped up from previous seasons of Doctor Who, from the design of the sets, from the design of the props, from the design of some of the costumes, and yes, even some of the green screen CSO, which yes, I have checked out what that word means, color separation overlay. So yeah, some of the CSO, it still looks wonky, it still looks definitely of its time, but it definitely is a lot better than in the episode Underworld, which I absolutely despised, as I mentioned in my previous review several months ago from my point of view. Either way, I really like the production design of the episode. The planet Tigella looks and feels incredible. It really does remind me of the planet Spyridon from Planet of the Daleks, which is one of my favorite Dalek episodes, which I mentioned a bunch of times. The planet Meglos, not the planet Meglos, sorry, Meglos is the name of the villain. Zophathura, my bad. The planet Zophathura doesn't look as great, but I mean, it's kind of the point, isn't it? It's a barren, sandy wasteland because the Zophathurans essentially destroyed each other in a war years and years ago, possibly even centuries ago. So yeah, it really do feel that in the episode itself, which kind of brings me to a bit of an inconsistency question. So if they destroyed themselves in a war and there's practically nothing left of whatever society they once used to live in on that planet, Zolfathura, how come the screens survive? Like, what were they made of that they were able to survive the war? And, like, why? What were they made for? Exactly. Were they just there to use the dodecahedron, which never actually came because it was always on Tigella? Or did the dodecahedron fell to Tigella from Zolfathura as a direct result of the war? This looks like a bunch of questions that should be pointed towards a potential novelization of the episode, which I have not checked out yet. So maybe some of the answers are being maybe some of the questions are being answered there. But yeah, all in all, it's the thing that Doctor Who episodes do so well. They make you feel like you're already in a lived-in world, a lived-in universe, so to speak. Like there's history, ancient history, lore to just these two planets that we're seeing. And there's just so much beyond just those two planets. There's also the Gaztecs. I hope I said their names correctly. Those interplanetary space thugs that they're basically like pirates for hire in a way. I guess it's a weird way of saying it. I mean, they just show up, they loot everywhere they can get their hands on, but they're also there to do a job for the mysterious figure known as Meglos. And I just love their costume design. I mean, they all look different. Not a single one of them looks like the other. Every helmet looks unique. Every coat looks unique. All their gloves, their boots, all of it. So clearly, they're a mishmash of different things they stole from different cultures, and I love that. That tells a story about these two characters who are essentially, henchmen. They're not even the main villains. They're kind of the secondary villains of the piece, and I just love that their attire reflects a big part of their culture, as opposed to something like the savants, I believe they're called savants, the people with the stupid hair on the planet Tigella, is what I like to call them. They all practically look identical. You can't even differentiate between any of them. They all have this stupid wig on. So yeah, unity and uniformity as opposed to the chaotic mess of the Gaztecs, and the same thing can be said for the Daons as well. Like, they all practically look the same. The only ones that really look different are the ones in authority, like Lexa and Zastor. They're kind of the only ones that stand out because of how they're dressed, and that's mainly just because, they're essentially the leaders of their clans, for lack of a better word. If you couldn't already tell, I don't particularly like the way the savants look in this episode. The Daons look pretty interesting, as this race of over religious zealots, is one way of putting it. But yeah, the Gaztecs, I think, are the most interesting bunch of people in this episode. And we haven't even gotten to talk about the main villain just yet. Meglos, the title villain, the Zolfathurin, the talking cactus. First of all, I mean, it's a very creative way to introduce a villain. Like, you lead these essential henchmen into an empty room, but there's a mysterious, ominous voice talking to them, and you, the audience, as well as the characters in the scene, have to figure out where that voice is coming from, only to be revealed that it's actually coming from the plant. And the plant is alive. The plant essentially hired them for the job. And what job did they hire him for? To kidnap some random human so he can use as a body. Essentially, giving him a new body at last. That is called foreshadowing. But all that being said, I mean, I guess the very existence of the human guy, the Earthling, which, by the way, doesn't even have a name in the episode. Did you notice that? I mean, they just call him Earthling. Even in the credits, he's credited as Earthling. I wonder if the novelization actually refers to him by a name. But yeah, so poor guy didn't even bother to give him a name. But well, hey, thankfully he makes it out of the episode alive, so that's, I guess, a bonus. But I mean, the makeup work that they had to do on this poor dude to make him, all cactusy, to feature into the form of Meglos, which is kind of interesting because, I mean, when you really think about it, the only reason for him to be in the episode is for Meglos to have a body, which then he immediately rejects and changes into the Doctor, and essentially uses the body of the Doctor throughout the entire episode. So, like, how degrading is that? I mean, you're not even the main body that the villain is using throughout the entire time. You're just a vessel that he can then change and morph into whatever he sees fit for whatever mission he's on. So yeah, again, feel really sorry for the guy, but I think the actor did a wonderful job in the few scenes that we actually get to see him with the makeup. And obviously the incredible makeup work transfers over as well to Tom Baker when he essentially is in the Meglos form. It's really, really good looking makeup. I mean, it's a bit dated by today's standards, but I think for 1980, this is like incredible looking makeup and prosthetic work. I really did love that. And more to the point, Tom Baker himself is completely transformed when he's in a Meglos' form. No pun intended. I mean, he really does a wonderful job of portraying these two characters completely differently, and you can always tell which one is the Doctor and which one is Meglos because of how Tom Baker carries himself in these scenes, because of how the way he talks, the way he moves, that look in his eye, the expression on his face. So you can always tell, even though it's a doppelganger episode, and there's always in these types of episodes the temptation to have the whole you as the audience member doesn't know which one is the real one, which one is the fake. But they didn't go that way with this episode, which is actually very interesting. It's a very rare for these types of episodes and these types of storylines whenever they have the doppelganger effect. So I really do applaud uh, the storytellers for that. And obviously, again, I applaud Tom Baker for being able to deliver this incredible performance. Also, that essentially the time loop scene, or what do they call it? Chronic histrionic, I believe, is what they called it. It was a really fun scene, and I love that every time they looped back to the beginning, it always started with Romana saying, "Blast, here we go again." I just love it, and they essentially ended that loop with saying, "Well, we've tried everything else." That is like brilliant writing right there. When you're in a time loop, the first line of dialogue you go back into is "Blast, here we go again," and the last line of dialogue spoken by the same character is, of course, "Well, we tried everything else." I love that. Well, I suppose the last line of dialogue is K9 saying, "Thank you, Mistress. Repairs complete." But I mean, it all ties back into how they get out of the chronic histrionic loop thing, whatever they call it.
Well, it's perfectly simple, Brigadier. A time loop is it's a time loop. One passes continually through the same points in time. Passes through the same. Yes.
I just think that whole part was done excellently. I mean, in a show about time travel, it is very rare that they actually do these types of time loop moments. I mean, they did it like in Armageddon Factor a couple of seasons ago, but I mean, I think this one is a much better done scene. And I think from start to finish, even from when the camera really focuses on the doctor's sort of bib that he drops on the floor and then trips over it. So yeah, the entire way that they structured this scene in particular is just chef's kiss, in my opinion. And oh yeah, K9's back. I mean, I did complain about K9 not having as big of a role in the previous episode, but yeah, K9 is back, and we're gonna get some nice few episodes with K9 before, of course, we kind of have to say goodbye to the character for a time at least. But yeah, I really did enjoy seeing K9 again, again, I love that they don't completely, as opposed to completely writing the character out of the story altogether, they kind of nerf him a little bit, saying that he needed some time to recharge, and that's why he couldn't go after Romana. And Romana, I think, does have some really cool moments. I mean, again, it's this thing I've been saying about Romana, especially this version of Romana ever since she regenerated. I love that she's always been getting captured by the henchmen type people, and aside from Destiny of the Daleks, she never really falls into that stereotypical desperate damsel in distress stereotype. I mean, she thinks on her feet. She finds a way to trick those Gaztecs into following her into that den of bell plants that attacked her earlier. And I love that. I love that about Romana. We see that a lot throughout this incarnation of the character, which is really fun and refreshing to see in a Doctor Who character, in a Doctor Who companion. Other than that, I think I pretty much said more or less everything there is to say about the episode. I love how the Doctor tricks the other Gaztecs by pretending to be Meglos, and he doesn't really get found out. That's that's kind of cool. But I will say, final thoughts. It was very, very nice to see Jacqueline Hill again, playing, of course, Lexa. Of course, Jacqueline Hill, of course, played one of the earliest companions ever, Barbara Wright. This was her final appearance on the show before she unfortunately passed away in 1993. And obviously, I mean, last year, as of the recording of this video, we also lost William Russell, who played Ian. So yeah, it was nice and refreshing to see her again. But I mean, she was kind of playing an almost villain character. So there's that. But I will say that, I mean, one of the biggest downgrades of this episode is her death scene. I mean, on paper, it's very cool. Like that last Gaztek who survived in his final moments with his last breath, tried to fire upon Romana, and um, Lexa got in the way. But I think the way it happened in the episode was very clumsy, very badly directed. Like Romana was with her back to the guy. She, for some reason, she went over to Lexa, and then just we don't really get to see Lexa getting shot. It's, I don't know. It's an awkward scene. It's a very awkward moment to what could have been a really cool and memorable death scene. But it is what it is. It is unfortunate. But yeah, one thing I haven't really talked about from last episode, which just shows you how bored I was with that one, is the randomizer's gone. So now the Doctor and Romana can go basically wherever they want. And also, that means that the Black Guardian could be on their trail. And he doesn't, of course, show up until a couple of seasons later. But it is kind of nice that we don't have to have that stupid randomizer thing, which they never really paid much attention to begin with in some of the episodes. So, yeah, there's that. And, yeah, the end of the episode with a message from Gallifrey telling them that they have to go back there immediately. What does that all mean? I, of course, know, and you probably do if you've already seen the season, but the answers will be revealed in the next one. So, yep, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this episode. And, yeah, just continuing on the journey of the Fourth Doctor's final season. Thank you for watching. If you have, let me know what you think about this episode. And let me know what you think about my thoughts on the episode. And until the next time, everybody, all thanks to Ty. Hello again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. See you next time.